each other through it. Come on and see, good movement draws good movement.
Welcome to Good Movement Draws Good Movement, the podcast where farmers, ranchers, and rural folks can grow relationally through awareness, understanding, and effective communication. Hey, it's T. I'm your host, and I, along with my guests, will be covering topics related to drawing good movement. Things like self and social awareness, brain science, positive psychology, extending grace, and so much more. We'll share tools that can help you understand why you are the way you are, why others are the way they are, and how you can use that to step out of self-told lies with grace and compassion to draw good movement in conversations, relationships, and life in rural America. Let's go draw good movement. Welcome back to the Good Movement Draws Good Movement podcast. After episode 120, Why Is It So Hard to Admit Mistakes, aired, I had a few people reach out after they'd listened to it. And some of those conversations led to conversations about apologies, which got my wheels turning. So I did what I sometimes do, and I went to social media and asked about apologies. And I'm going to share with you what I found. But first, if you've been thinking at all about diving deeper than just this cast pod into your inner work, you can schedule a free 30-minute call with me where we can connect face-to-face via Zoom and talk about what that might look like for you. Visit the link in the show notes and mention CastPod when you schedule to get 10% off one-on-one good movement guidance. So the first place I went was Instagram, and I just did a few polls in my stories. I asked 3 questions. I had 3 different options for people to choose from on answers. The first question that I asked is, as a child and young person, how often did the adults in your life recognize your feelings without trying to change them? 69% said never that I can remember. 31% said somewhat often, and 0% said very often. Now, I feel like these results are fairly telling, but I will confess that the sample size is small. Only 50 people answered each one of the polls. So again, small sample size, and I feel that the results are still very telling. 69%, well over half of people who responded never can remember having their feelings recognized or validated without someone trying to change them as children. The second question that I asked was, as a child and young person, how often were you on the receiving end of an apology from the adults in your life? 65% said never that I can remember, 29% said somewhat often, and 5% said very often. The final question that I asked was, how often did you witness the adults in your life offer an apology or repair to someone else? 63% said never that I can remember, 29% said somewhat often, and 8% said very often. So a few more said very often to this question. So it seems that people maybe witness the adults in their lives apologizing to other adults in their lives a little more than they were on the receiving end of apologies. And again, the sample size was small for this poll, but I still feel like the results are very telling and honestly heartbreaking. My heart breaks to know that over half of the people who responded did not have their feelings validated as a child, were not on the receiving end of apologies that they can remember, did not witness apologies being and repair from the adults in their lives. Now, I didn't stop here. I went to Threads and I asked, as a child and young person, how often did the adults in your life apologize or try to repair with you? So essentially, I asked the second question from the polls. The responses I got were, nope, it was brushed under the carpet. Never. So now I apologize to my children because they are people who deserve my respect. That seriously never happened in my childhood. Mom tried, overly tried even, and left me to hold her emotions, sadness, guilt, shame, etc. Dad, never, not once. Never. Not one time. And now I apologize to my kids all the time. I literally taught myself to apologize at age 25. So all of those responses, again, small sample size, but all of those responses, those people do not remember being on the receiving end of apologies and or repair as children. Or they were on the receiving end of what I'm going to refer to as air quote apology, where the parent was looking for some affirmation and comfort from the child rather than offering a genuine apology. Now, how does this all tie into admitting mistakes? Great question. I would love to tell you. Taking a page from Elise Myers there. But in the conversations that I was having after that episode 120 came out, I was hearing things like, when the mistake comes to light, I'm sorry, but this happened, so I did that. I'm sorry, but you did this, so I did that. I'm sorry, but. And I'm sorry, but if the apology includes but, it's not a genuine, true apology. It is deflection, displaced blame, trying hard to protect yourself from admitting a mistake disguised as an apology. A true, genuine apology does not include but. I'm sorry for what I did, period. So that's where it ties into admitting mistakes, because as we discussed in that episode, it's hard for us to admit mistakes, especially if admitting mistakes was not safe for us as children. And so sometimes apologies can be used as a protective measure to save us from having to admit the mistake, do the hard thing, admit the mistake. So how do we move forward? How do we move forward and offer genuine apologies? How do we move forward and, really work hard to admit our mistakes? Well, we have to have some level of safety, because if admitting mistakes felt unsafe as kids, it still likely feels unsafe now. And so we need some level of safety. So we start with ourselves. We admit mistakes to ourselves. We apologize to ourselves. We start small. All those people that wrote in and said that they never remembered their parents apologizing to them, so now they apologize to their kids. That's amazing. That's so awesome. It's something that I'm working on myself, and it's something that has taken me some inner work and healing of old wounds to get to a place where I can better apologize and better recognize when apology is necessary in real time. I've mentioned on this podcast before that there was that time that I apologized to our middle daughter 7 years after the fact. So apologies, it's never too late for an apology. Never too late for an apology. And I had to get to a place where I felt safe enough to do that. So practice. And when we're practicing this and we're getting better at it with ourselves, then we will feel safer to do it with other people and with our kids, with other adults, with our peers, with our family, etc. And here's the thing, especially with our kids, we can say things like, you need to say sorry to your sister. You need to apologize to your brother. You need to go apologize to this person for that, or say sorry for that thing that you did, blah, 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 blah. You can say those things. You can talk about it till you're blue in the face, and it's not going to land as well as if you are modeling it for your kids. This goes for admitting mistakes as well as apologies. And they go hand in hand, really, because if you're offering a true, genuine apology, that is admitting you made a mistake and working toward repair. And that's something that I want for our kids, mine and Tom's kids. I want them to feel safe enough to admit mistakes, because we're humans and we're gonna make mistakes. And so I want them to feel safe enough to admit those. And I want them to feel safe enough to offer genuine apologies and repair. And so part of that means that I need to be willing to do the same, because humans learn best through imitation. So if I'm not modeling it for them and I'm just telling them, it's not going to land as well. They're not going to soak it up as well as if I'm modeling it. And again, like I said, this has taken me some inner work healing and all of that to get to the point that I'm at, and I'm still a work in progress. But good movement draws good movement, and that's what I'm hoping is happening here. My kids witnessing this, they're witnessing me apologize. They're witnessing me readily admit my mistakes. Sometimes, like I said, still a work in progress, but that's the hope anyway. If this episode resonated with you and you'd like to explore your apology tendencies and or mistake admissions more, visit the link in the show notes to schedule a free 30-minute call. And don't forget to mention CastPod for a 10% discount on one-on-one good movement guidance. And with that, until next time, draw good movement. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. If you found value in this episode, I'd love for you to share with others who might also benefit from tuning in. Share by word of mouth, send it in a text, take a screenshot and post it on social media, or share however you prefer. And if you haven't already, hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, draw good movement.